The Department of Agriculture states that this year an outstanding 46 million American people are on the food stamp program. The food stamp program aids numerous families every day to help provide food for their table. The increase in food stamp enrollment means that more Americans need assistance, or more people are receiving benefits when they do not need them. The total annual cost of the food assistance program is an unbelievable $71.8 trillion, according to the Department of Agriculture. Do you want all your hard-earned tax money to benefit the people who abuse the food stamp system? The food stamp program, also known as SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, has a few malfunctions. I strongly believe that the food stamp program needs necessary changes, such as food stamp recipients should be required to volunteer their community, buy healthy foods, be drug tested, and the reduction of food stamp fraud. At this moment, you may pause this video and click on the video link below. First, I believe that SNAP recipients should be required to volunteer. I think that if Americans had to volunteer to receive food stamps, many would simply not apply for the benefits. Requiring volunteer hours from recipients would reduce the number of people receiving benefits. If the recipients cannot find jobs to provide money to buy food, they should work for their food through volunteering. Think about it. If recipients receive benefits monthly and never have to do any work, what would motivate them to get a job? Since the government and taxes help pay for their food, they should give back in some way or another. Once a person is used to getting free money every month for food, it can become very difficult to give that up. So we must find a way for them to become motivated again. In addition, food stamps should purchase only healthy foods. Numerous times I've been to the grocery store and seen food stamp recipients piling their shopping carts full of highly priced junk food. Like the WIC Women, Infants, and Children program, you should receive checks that tell you specifically what you can purchase. For example, the WIC program allows you to buy monthly a certain amount of milk, eggs, bread, juice, peanut butter, cereal, cheese, and beans. I believe that when people spend food stamps, they use them unsparingly since they are not using their own money. The book Food Stamps and Obesity, What Do We Know? Says that some evidence suggests that participation in the food stamp program may increase BMI and the probability of obesity. Using food stamps to buy healthy foods contributes towards improved diets, makes better use of tax dollars, and reduces healthcare costs. Furthermore, SNAP receivers should be drug tested. As Jennifer McLeod says, so if we working Americans have to pass drug tests to work and pay taxes to support the unemployed, then why aren't those people required to pass drug tests in order to receive governmental assistance? I believe that if people can afford to buy drugs, then they can afford to buy food. Food stamp drug testing would serve as an incentive for people to get clean. If they were to eliminate every drug user from the program, then the amount of money the SNAP program provides annually would decrease significantly. The Department of Agriculture's USDA Inspector General told the House panel recently that some of the 46.3 million Americans currently enrolled in the federal food stamp program traded their benefits for cash so that they could then purchase drugs and guns, among other contraband. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution states that tax dollars should never be spent on and enabling illegal activity, says Senator John Albers. Ultimately, help people with tough love to get clean and become productive members of society. Finally, food stamp fraud needs to be reduced. For example, ineligible people lie to receive food stamps in several ways, such as they lie about having a job or what their income is. Another example of fraud is people that trade their food stamps for alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, or money. Food stamp policies need to be cracked down on for the sake of our country. It is unfair that Americans' tax dollars are benefiting the needy in a negative way. SNAP program is great for families that are using it the right way, but when people abuse their aid, it hurts our economy. I believe that there needs to be more investigations to ensure that the recipient is using their benefits properly. The DJ Journal says that in the last fiscal year alone, 1,705 people were disqualified for Mississippi's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for making false claims and bilking the program out of more than $2.7 million, according to data obtained by the Daily Journal. When people go to the grocery store to use their food stamps, they should be required to prove they are the person whose name is on the card by showing an ID. In conclusion, I strongly believe that the food stamp program needs necessary changes, such as food stamp recipients should be required to volunteer their community, they can only buy healthy foods, recipients should be drug tested, and the reduction of food stamp fraud. I have compassion and agree that families that have a true need to receive these, but there's a lot of misuse though. I understand that many Americans are competing for jobs and unemployment is at an all-time high. Therefore, it is necessary for many Americans to need food stamps. I believe the program needs improvements and we need to find a way to lower the amount of recipients to get our economy back on track by lowering the national debt. Now that you know about the problems associated with the food stamp program, I hope you help raise awareness and report any suspicious behavior. We should measure welfare success by how many people leave the program, not by how many are added. Ronald Reagan. Thank you for taking the time to watch my speech. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Have a great day.